dedication. I got a lot of motivation. I got a lot of dedication. Got a lot of dedication. Oh yeah, let me hear it. Oh yeah.
What exactly does it mean to be a Marine?
A naval expeditionary force in readiness. Extremely adaptable and agile. Prepared to operate inside contested maritime spaces. Built to win our nation's battles and create order from chaos, anytime, anywhere. We are first on the scene, first to help, first to contain a brewing crisis, and if required to do so, first to fight. And our self-sustained forces are able to keep peace, bring aid, or take the fight anywhere on the planet.
Lance Corporal Philip Vinnedge embodied everything that the Marine Corps stands for.
This is Julie Vinnedge describing her son.
So Philip was just a real easygoing, fun-loving, positive individual. He always saw the good in people. He always enjoyed whatever he was doing. He kind of tried to make the best of it. He was very, very dedicated. He just knew that he could always do better. If he committed to something, he was committed and he gave it 100%. There was no stopping him if he wanted to do something. Philip was an independent thinker. If he felt strongly about something, you could not change his mind.
He was assigned to 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, 1st Marine Division, and served as an anti-tank assaultman in a combined anti-armor team. In this position, he was proficient in the Sabre and Javelin anti-tank missile systems. This position also required that he be intelligent and adaptable in order to man other systems while the members of his team slept. His platoon commander describes him as the jack of all trades. He was part of a vehicle platoon where he was primarily responsible for driving the vehicle and coordinating with machine gunners on the vehicle. On October 13, 2010, his vehicle was part of a quick reaction force responsible for towing and assisting vehicles hit by IEDs. While driving point in this 4-vehicle team, his vehicle hit an IED, and the QRF was then involved in a firefight with the enemy. Although he was driving in a heavily armored vehicle, this IED contained what was estimated to be 100 pounds excess explosives, with anti-tank mines on top. Lance Corporal Vinnedge was killed in action 16 days after his first deployment, on October 13, 2010, at only 19 years old.
You have to consider that Marines are required to be more than just warfighters. They are there to uphold the trust of the American people and are quite representative of our nation's core values. They lead by character, strength, courage, and above all else, family. Each soldier must maintain the goodness of humanity and embody the true spirit of a warrior.
This is about more than mobility or equipment. It's about Marines. Recruiting and retaining the very best defines who we are. We seek selfless young men and women of character and virtue and challenge them to earn our title. Marines themselves are the greatest weapons in our arsenal, each polished and capable, battle-tested, determined to win.
As a Marine, or warrior for that matter, you have to be willing and ready to give your all for other people. You must be selfless. The most important mission as a warrior is the people to the left and right of you. The key weapon of the Roman warriors of the past, rather than the blade of a sword or their courage and dignity, was their shield, because they used it to protect the warriors beside them. The life of a Marine and warrior depends on others, whether or not you're there for your buddies, and if your buddies are there for you.
This is Sergeant Zach Will, his childhood best friend.
The legacy he left behind was exactly what the Marine Corps stands for. Philip and the brothers that passed by his side, and the brothers that fought in Afghanistan and any other war that we have fallen for, is the exact legacy as a Marine. You got the honor, courage, commitment. You stand for the Eagle Globe and Anchor, and we do it for the brothers to the left and right of you. The legacy carries on through the Marine Corps, and it's exactly what he wanted since a very young age, and I think he gave it all for exactly what he wanted.
So he never really wanted things focused on him. When he was at boot camp, there was a situation where, for the Crucible, he had his combat boots broken into very, very well. But he did not have his jungle boots, his weather boots broken in. And the weather was very wet, and his feet, he had blisters all over his feet to the point that they were going to pull him out to treat his feet, and they were even afraid one foot might have to have surgery because the blisters were so bad on it. And he told the medic, and of course the medic wasn't supposed to listen to him, but he told the medic, do whatever possible because I cannot let my team down. I have to graduate. And that's what he did. Another thing is Philip, he tested that he could have gone into the Marine Corps into officer training, but he said he never wanted to be on the battlefield and look to his right or look to his left and know that he hadn't had it just as difficult and just as much training as the person next to him.
From a young age, Philip held with him a sense of duty to protect those around him.
Philip was 10 years old when 9/11 happened. And that's the first time he came to his dad and I and said he had to go into the military and get the bad guy to protect his family. Well, when you hear a 10-year-old kid say that, you just kind of think, oh, yeah, right. What are you going to want to do tomorrow? You know, but Philip never strayed from that. He felt it was his duty to protect his family and protect his country. When he turned 15, he started training with the police at the local recruiting station. And then at 17, he came to his dad and I again, and that's when he asked if we would give him permission for early enlistment. It was very important for Philip to be sworn in on 9/11/09, and that's what he did. He was sworn in on 9/11/09, and he was not wanting a terrorist attack to ever happen again.
One of the things that Marines often say is that in order to get through the hardships of life, you have to be there for the people surrounding you. And you cannot lose your sense of humor. Phil demonstrated both of these qualities among countless others. And yes, he was committed to serve, but he was always doing so with a smile on his face.
He was always smiling. At boot camp, some of his buddies kind of would get mad at him because they didn't think he was taking boot camp seriously. Philip and our middle son were very, very big practical jokers. I mean, they were constantly playing practical jokes on each other. They were very innocent practical jokes. I mean, as innocent as you could get, I guess, with sometimes there would be fire or something involved. He loved to dare. He would do almost anything for a quarter. We have pictures of him snow skiing in his swim trunks because somebody dared him.
However, the extreme act of selflessness often comes with the ultimate price.
This is Major Schumann, a former platoon commander in Kilo Company and current professor at the Naval Academy.
And maybe one of my snipers put it best, Sergeant Manabate most aptly summarizes them in what he calls the 3 rules of war. Rule number 1, young warriors die. Rule number 2, you cannot change rule number 1. Rule number 3, someone must walk.
And it is this dedication and commitment to something greater than yourself that truly encompasses service. At the end of the day, service is something that you choose. It is something for which you demand no recognition.
Philip never wanted recognition or accolades. He accomplished everything to get his Eagle Scout, but he said he didn't need the Eagle Scout designation to be recognized. He knew he had accomplished everything. He had done all the requirements, and that was good enough for him.
It is something that will live on through generations to come, and we must work every day to honor the legacy of Marines like Lance Corporal Vinnedge, who demonstrated love, friendship, honor, courage, commitment, and above all else, exemplifies what it means to be a true Marine.
We were real blessed with him. I of course miss him every single day, but I don't regret giving him permission to go into the Marine Corps because that's what he wanted.
Give me that good old Marine Corps spirit. Give me that good old Marine Corps spirit. Give me that good old Marine Corps spirit. Give me that old Marine Corps spirit. Give me that old Marine Corps spirit. 'Cause it's good enough for me. 'Cause it's good enough for me.
We would like to thank all the friends and family, as well as those who served alongside Lance Corporal Vinnedge, that helped us with our podcast.